chaps. It is, well, it's September now, but my goodness, has the temperature leapt. So having had a really miserable grey, pretty cold for the time of year, August, it is now so hot. And I'm currently hiding in my office, which is at the back of the house, which doesn't get any sun until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So this morning, I'm just hiding in the office. But what I wanted to do before we crack on with this week's video was at the end of last week's vlog, we did, Mum and I, tomato tasting, just of the ones that we had, obviously less than I thought we were going to have because rat-a-tat-tats were involved. But even that, we didn't have a full range of everything we wanted to try, but we had a good number. We had about 16 of them. We did a tomato tasting. When I was editing the video, I realised that I never kind of concluded the tomato tasting by saying which ones were really excellent and which ones we're probably not going to grow again. But I just wanted, I mean, I talked a lot about what tomatoes we grew and what we didn't grow and all the rest of it last week. I just wanted a very quick rundown because there were some absolute killers in there and I wanted to make sure I actually got across how great they were. The first one on that list was Alice's Dream. It's yellow on the bottom, black on the top, and had the most incredible flavour. It was really strong flavoured, tomatoey, dense flavour, you know, it wasn't watery, it wasn't, sometimes tomatoes can be a bit floury, like pasty when you eat them, not at all. It had a beautiful texture. It was a cracking tomato. Another one which came up really, really high was pork chop, which is a totally yellow one, really big tomato. Sometimes I find with the really big tomatoes, they can kind of get lost a bit, like the texture gets a bit lost. God, it was beautiful. Of ones we'd already tried before, black crim came up really good. Again, nice to throw in some that you already know when you're trying new tomatoes because you like to have kind of a standard. Like I know what black crim tastes like, and so I could tell like that's where that one, and you could see, and yeah, Alice's Dream and pork chop were well up there with that one. One we didn't have to try, which is a bit of a shame, which is normally my favourite every time we do a tomato tasting, it like comes out pretty near the top, is Japanese black truffelli, but I didn't have any ready, so they were all grown in the polytunnel and they were all delicious. They all also had pretty thin skins, which is pretty nice because Mum, I don't really mind tomato skin, but Mum hates it when they've got really thick skins, and they had the perfect balance of flesh, skin, flavour, winners all round. We also grew a selection of short season tomatoes this year, which were just like bog standard red tomatoes, and we grew some in the back garden, some at the allotment. The ones in the allotment got blight, but the ones in the back garden, 2 of them came out really, really well, and that was Selects and Early Wonder. Great tomatoes, so we'll definitely be growing them again next year as well. And last but not least, we tried 4 different varieties of cherry tomato, which was Garnet, which is a dark red variety. We tried Rosella, which is a sort of a pinker red tomato. We had Dr. Green, which is a green one, and Sun Gold, which is the classic, like super sweet orange one. All 4 of them were delicious. All 4 of them we're going to grow again next year. But there was quite a lot of variation in flavour. So the green one was just that little bit tartar, a sharper flavour, really beautiful tomato, lovely texture. Rosella had a much deeper flavour. Sun Gold, like I say, just super sweet. And on its own, I'm not that keen on it actually. I think it's too one-dimensional in flavour. It's just like, bam, I'm sweet. But when you have a salad, when you've got more than one sort of exciting variety of cherry tomato and you put them all together like this, then that's when Sun Gold really shines, because you get like this burst of sweet but mixed in with the other flavours, and that's when it is so good. So at the moment we are reveling in the joy of having like just halved cherry tomatoes, a bit of salt, a bit of olive oil over the top of them, and the mixture of the green, the yellow and the 2 different shades of red in there with 4 really quite differing flavours. Absolutely beautiful. So that is the first selection of tomatoes of like ones which we definitely move onto the list for next year, which is very exciting. Already thinking about tomatoes for next year. Yeah, anyway chaps, that is me hiding in the back room from the sunshine. It looks so hot out there, but we are going up there this afternoon, so I suspect it's gonna be boiling. Wasn't wrong. It is very warm. It hasn't been much over 30, like I think we've just about got to 30 this summer. Like that's as hot as it got, and today 32 September. It's definitely a late summer, this one. But yeah, I've just nipped up here really to put the leeks in. Like I said, I've got 2 varieties to go in. One of them is the nippers that I sowed. These are the leeks which stay small, so you kind of pick them at pencil size. And Johanna also picked me up some leeks that she found, you know, as plug starts in the garden centre, because I kind of left it a bit late to sow the second load of them. So I'm going to get these both in today. I'm going to just stick them in. We've got half a bed spare up that end, so I'm going to shove them in there, and it's, as long as I plant them within the space that I can stick one of the EnviroMesh boxes over, we should be fine. These will be in the ground a lot less long than the, I think they're Musselburgh, you know, bog standard Musselburgh leeks. So nipper will be in the ground a lot less time than they will. The Musselburgh will be in there all over winter. So it's more important that they're covered. And I'm also going to plant them in 2 separate ways. Because these are only going to get to pencil leeks, I'm going to trench them and then just line them up and infill like I did parakeets, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to just line them up, trench them, so they'll only be about sort of this far apart, whereas the leeks are, the proper leeks, I'll give like sort of this sort of space, because I mean, I say they're going to get big. I hope they're going to get big. Normally when I'm planting out like proper size leeks, I would wait until they're really quite a lot bigger than they actually are, and then you put in with like a bulb planter straight down, and then, you know, you drop them right in the soil. They are not big enough to do that, but if I leave it much longer, they're not going to have had enough time in the ground to actually kind of establish themselves before winter sets in. So it's kind of a bit of a balance. So I could leave them to get bigger, but then I don't think they would survive the winter. So it's a bit kind of, you know, give and take. It does mean, so normally when you drop the leeks in, it does mean that it's that bit that's underground which gives you that really white flesh of the leek. It means that these probably won't have big white bits at the bottom, but they'll still have perfectly usable leeks. And it's better to get a bit of usable leek out of them than nothing. That's my thoughts anyway. So I'm going to go and get these in now in that bed. We gave it a really, really good soak yesterday, or Mum gave it a really good soak when she was up here yesterday. So it's pretty much just ready to go. Lovely. So you know how I'm always going on about that we've got really sandy soil up here and that we have to mulch really to keep the condition of the soil up? Well, this bed was mulched, it would have been autumn last year, so it's been mulched over the winter and then left over the summer. And I'll show you what I mean, like it just goes to sand. I'm showing you this before I rake it over, but look. That may as well just be a beach. It is just sand where the water is just washed off, like here's soil and here's sand. So what I mean when I say I'm trenching my nipper leeks, so these leeks, like I say, are going to be very small even when I pick them. They don't need a lot of space between them. This is the same way that I would plant out, say, spring onions, which have been grown in a seed tray like this. instead of digging an individual hole for each of these tiny little seedlings, I dig a single trench which has got one almost vertical side and one sloping side where I've scooped the soil out. And then as I'm laying the seedlings in there, I am laying them against the almost vertical side, so they're pretty much upright. That gives them the support, and then I can just push the soil that I've scooped out from the other side over the top of them, and they maintain their uprightness. It's just a much faster way of planting out a huge number of these little seedlings rather than having to dig individual holes for each one of them. Stuff to climb over now. Not quite. Just poke that way and shuffle this slightly that way, and then under those two. Is that it? Okay. That's it. Just one on the corner there that's right underneath the thingy. Let me go forward with this. There you go. Okay. Lovely. It's annoying, I've left a gap here, but never mind. Put something in there. Don't even think about eating those lettuces, Rube. And before we head off today, the first picking of the very late sown purple French beans is upon us. These are little tiny dwarf ones that I don't normally grow, but because we were sowing them so late as a cover for other failed crops, we went for dwarf because they fruit much faster than the climbers. And I've been really pleased with these. So yeah, first picking underway. And we will see you tomorrow, chaps. Good afternoon. We've just nipped up. It's been another incredibly hot day, but we need some things for dinner. We need an aubergine and we need some of these nipper leeks. So just the other day, in fact yesterday, I was planting out nipper leeks in those trenches, and these are the ones that I trenched in kind of mid-spring, and they are now ready to pick. You can see that they're so much smaller than, say, like a proper Musselburgh leek. But they're brilliant, and these ones I will clean up before we go home so I can just chuck all the excess straight into the compost bin, and they will go on the barbecue as is with a drizzle of olive oil and a bit of salt over the top, and they will be divine.
You want me to put those covers back over there, because if it's not going to, there's no sun tomorrow, they won't be too hot.
Yeah.
They're all been knocked on to seed, have they?
No, they're just all falling over, unfortunately. They've been squashed by something. What though? That'll probably do us.
Been a little bit brownish, I think.
Ah.
So we might have two laying now.
Right, just show the egg. Oh, no, hang on, it's too high. Now you can show it. Up.
White.
Okay.
Right.
Morning, Lil.
Pussycat, poo. Where are you going? Oi! Meow meow.
Well, September is certainly turning out to be somewhat different from August, isn't it? It's absolutely sweltering again. It's not quite so like open blue skies today, so there's a bit of relief, but yeah, it's still hot as. Anyway, I've got 2 jobs that I really want to do today. One of them involves carrots and one of them involves a drill and the gate. I know, it's happening. I'm actually going to fix that gate. Well, that's the plan anyway.
You'll be able to get that onto
I'll
that
staple
top.
all this back up. I'll just go get the staple gun. That can all go back up onto there, so I'll tidy
It's all
that up.
finished.
And then we've got a front. No arch yet, but that just is going to come when
Later.
Yeah. But there's a spot here where the arch can be attached.
Right.
So it'll be on that side there, and then just in that side there. So yeah.
Right.
Right.
Now to get out of the sun. Right.
Go through the gate.
Ready?
Yep. Okay. Done. And there we have it. We have a proper frontage to the allotment. A proper gate. I've stapled the chicken wire up. Let's just have a little go. It's perfect. There is going to eventually be an arch that goes up over the top, and I want to grow a kiwi up it. But for the moment, chaps, gate installed.
Just under here. Another escapee.
Right.
I'll get the one that we purposely grew.
Yep. It's a beauty. Happy?
Yep, I'm happy with that. So many at home. That looks like a butternut squash, it's so big.
That deserves a beer. We finally have a working gate. I do actually have some numbers to put on it, but I don't think I've brought them up with me, so I'm going to have to bring them up tomorrow. But still, cheers. It is early in the day, and it is alcohol free before I get judgment. But I have to drink it quite soon. Oh, it's lively. I have to drink it quite soon because otherwise it'll go warm. You know, woe is me. Mm. Do you remember the days when alcohol-free beer was absolutely, I mean, it's still pretty pointless, but when alcohol-free beer was rank? Oh, it's not that way anymore.
There's been a lot of hot sun because the water's quite cold.
So hot. So hot. So hot. So hot. So hot. So hot. Hot, hot, hot. So the other job that was on the list was doing the carrots. Now I've got these 2 polystyrene boxes that I want to sow carrots into. But what I've remembered is that yesterday I looked up here, we've got masses of seed jammed in this shed. Like things that we've sown and then left the seed up here, and it's all got into a bit of a mess. My goodness, I am a sweaty mess. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Carrots. Yes, so I saw that we did have some carrot seed up here, but I was just thinking about it this morning, and actually I think that's the carrot seed that we sowed 2 lines of in the carrot box. No germination whatsoever. So I don't think it's a goer. I'm going to go and pick up some more seed from home before we sow them into those boxes. Sorry, I'm like shaking with the camera because I'm just like dehydrated and overheated. Anyway, I've gathered all of the seed that we've had in here and shoved it all into the basket. Look at the amount of seed packets we've just had like stashed in the shed. 2 full of the large paper bags worth of them, so I'm going to take them home and sort them out, and then bring back some viable carrot seed. That's probably not going to be tomorrow, you know. So today, sweltering, like sweaty heat. Tomorrow we're back to full sun and it's going to be like 34. So I don't think we're going to be up here tomorrow. It's probably going to be beer in the garden, not moving for the whole day tomorrow. So Sunday I will be bringing up more carrot seed, and we'll get the carrot seed boxes done, because I also need to pierce holes in them, which means lighting the stove to heat the cane that I've got to, you know, go through and make holes in the polystyrene boxes, and I do not feel like doing that right now, I can tell you. Over a camp stove right now, it's not appealing. Go from the other side.
That looks okay, actually.
Yeah, it looks
Hasn't
fine, doesn't
bolted.
it?
No.
It looks good. It's still tight in the middle.
Yep.
Come on, girlies! Come on, girlies. Here you go. Here you go, my darlings. You're a beautiful girlie. Beautiful. Isn't she a pretty girlie? Got loads of water, loads of food.
I'm coming up tomorrow, so. Yeah, March 2:33.
It's gonna be hot tomorrow, girlies. Hot. Two huge bags of seed to put away in the seed drawers at the back there, and I've got to find the carrots for next week. Yeah, that's going to be a job for next week now. Still so hot. It is actually, we're meant to get thunderstorms tomorrow, and it's meant to, like, the temperature's meant to really drop. Humidity's going to remain like walking through soup, but temperature's going to drop, which is appreciated, I'd say. Right, I better put these all away. God, so many seeds in here. Actually, it's given me a really good opportunity, because what I'll do is I'll put all these away, and then I can have a rethink about what we need to start sowing, because it's that time of year now. We need to start sowing things that are going to be for late autumn harvests, and get our heads in gear for what we're going to be wanting to grow over winter. So at least when you're having to put seeds away, you're sort of sorting them. And I think there's going to be a lot of empty packets in here, because I just scooped everything up in the shed. So I'll put all these away, and then I'll look for carrots. Okay, that is all the seeds away. I did find some fennel, which is something I was looking for. I have found some carrots. That's all jobs for next week. And I've also had a good look through my like winter sowings, winter salad drawer, so we got stuff to put in there. That's going to be a bit of a discussion point for next week, I think. But talking of next week, chaps, I think we are at the end of this one. Cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Very excited that we have a proper gate now. Proper gate. We have a proper... That's not funny, Jessie. Sorry. I have dug out my numbers, my 37 that I picked up, my goodness, about 2 years ago when the home base was closing down on the other side of the tracks over there. They were like 10p each, so I'm well excited about that. That's how long I've been planning to put a gate in. I know, it's tragic, but I've got them anyway. So they are going to go on next week, which is going to be, you know, the icing on the cake for the gate. We're going to talk about things to sow for winter. There's also quite a lot of direct sowing stuff that I want to get in. I'm going to have to patch the hole up the middle of that bed where I direct sowed stuff because it's just nothing there and things just keep digging through it. Some sort of like pathway straight through the centre of that bed, because they're not going for the edges or anything. They're just like taking everything out down the centre. So I'm going to try and resolve that situation and then cover it. But I can't believe we're already a week into September. Well, I mean, obviously the weather doesn't feel like we're a week into September. The weather feels like mid-July at the moment, but I also had a lot of things last week in the comments about getting a trail cam, which is something I really want to do. I just haven't made a decision on like what one. In fact, I haven't even started any research. So if you've got any advice for some kind of trail cam, watching wildlife, watching things stealing tomatoes kind of kit, let me know. The criteria are it needs to not have to be plugged in, so it needs to be battery operated because we don't have any electricity at the allotment. So that is the main criteria. And so it is that time again, chaps. I want to say cheers. I'm going to say cheers. Cheers to my incredible Monday clubbers, the people who keep this vlog going every week. You know who you are. But anybody who doesn't know who they are, their names are always at the end of the vlog. I wouldn't be able to do this without them, and I'm incredibly grateful. So thank you, chaps. Thank you, chaps. Cheers for you. And cheers to everybody else. If you're in this country and been in the ridiculous out of season heat, cheers to you. I hope there's been a lot of barbecues and cold beers had. I do. We have used the barbecue this last week more than we have the whole rest of the summer, which has been nice. And I've got a really terrible memory, and so having like this burst of heat right at the end of the summer, I'm going to remember this summer as being fantastic. I'm telling you, I am. I'm going to be like, my God, it was gorgeous. Do you remember all that, those like weeks out in September in the garden? I will forget the fact that we had like a miserable, cold, damp, sweaty July and August. So, yeah. Anyway, cheers, chaps. I'll see you next week. It's a proper one this time.